one of the other concepts that I learned from you, which is the concept of network intelligence, right? What you do is you don't try to say, I am smarter than the rest of the world. You try to talk to as many smart people as possible. And I think one of the things I've learned from you is there's always ways to ask people. Don't ask people, hey, do you think it's a good idea, right? What's the way that you ask that question instead?
So the way you ask a question, whether it's your own project or an investor, is what could go wrong with this? What would need to be improved? What could break this? Because if you ask the question the first way, as Chris knows, the question that most people hear you asking is, reassure me, tell me that I'm right, tell me that this theory is good. Like I have some uncertainty of confidence, I want you to increase it. And that can be disastrous. Whereas what's useful, like for example, in the LinkedIn case, when I was going around talking to literally all of my smartest friends, because my general view on this is you should talk to anyone who is smart and can add perspective to it as an entrepreneur, even as an investor, because it doesn't necessarily mean to have in-depth expertise in this. They may still have, if they even have some perspective, may have some useful. And then, by the way, as a network intelligence, you get radar. And the thing, kind of unsurprisingly, that I got back on the LinkedIn case was, this will never work because your value proposition comes from having a sizable network. So first person, no value. They, Reed in the network, no value. Reed invites Chris. Reed and Chris know each other already. No value for Reed, no value for Chris. How is this ever going to go anywhere? Right? So you should not do this. This will be dead on delivery. And again, this is where you get back to, where does your investment thesis have something, and this is me as an entrepreneur in this case, that the market doesn't know, contrarian and right as part of it, or that I have an edge by which the blitzscaling thesis can play out. And the thesis that I had was a combination of two things, which was, one was that there was a subset of people who would believe in this enough that they would go, no, I see what it could be. That's a small percentage of people. You got to presume it's a small percentage of people that you get in. And with that subset, I could use the mechanics that I knew around virality and how virality worked and how you promote virality, how do you make it work, how do you get people to engage with it in an easy way, how do you get that to get out to folks and so on, and how do you make and you could put those two things together, because that small enough percentage would go, this is interesting enough to me using it, and then I could get to size and then the value proposition. And to give you a sense of how extreme of a theory that was, the theory was, well, we could get to a million people just without a value proposition doing this. And then once we had the million people, then as we start building the use cases where people could actually use it. And, that's the extreme edge of that, because obviously, of course, you want the use cases from the beginning if you could, right? But since the value proposition in this case was the network of people, you had to get there. And that's kind of how you look at these things, even at a Series A, and how you can use network intelligence. And the reason I went around asking everybody what's wrong with this idea is I wanted to see which were the things, because you get a ping from and a lot of people said, I usually pick on John Lillich for this because it's fun, but a lot of people said, you're never going to grow the network. And he's like, okay, that is priority 1, 2, and 3, right, for our first year of existence.
And that's the brilliant thing, because what you learn is not just the answer people give you, right? You don't just sort of say, oh, well, you know what? All these smart people think LinkedIn isn't going to work. I'm not going to found the company. I'm going to do something else. But you learn instead, okay, this is input. This is an area where I need to focus. This is a hypothesis I need to test. And by the way, I was one of those early users that joined LinkedIn, user number 3,000 or so. And I joined for precisely those reasons. I believed it would be valuable. And also, I was one of those people who was keeping track of people using Outlook. And so I'm like, I don't want to have to update people's contact information. It wouldn't be great if there was a service that would do it for me. And so there was enough value for me to join it and invite my friends. And so I like to think I helped contribute in some small way.